talk.
Yeah.
Welcome to The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Host Randy Chevrier and Sheldon Napastka guides you through great stories that spark great conversations. Two really big guys talking a big game. The boys are locked in and ready to go. Welcome to The Ride.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate MECO. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
A very special guest who wanted to be the first person to greet you after your return from the far side of the moon. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, it's my honor to introduce the President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Jared, and you are doing a fantastic job. And hello, very special hello to Artemis II. Today you've made history and made all America really proud, incredibly proud. We have a lot of things to be proud of lately, but this is there's nothing like what you're doing, circling around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century and breaking the all-time record for the farthest distance from planet Earth. Humans have really never seen anything quite like what you're doing in a manned spacecraft. It's really special. I want to personally salute and congratulate Commander Reed Weissman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. And I also want to thank the entire amazing team at NASA, headed by Jared, who's a very special guy, by the way, and you all made this day possible, and you've really inspired the entire world. Really, everybody's watching. I find it incredible. I just watch you go to the back of the moon, and people haven't been there in a long time, we can say, but it's going to be more and more prevalent because we're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and then you're going to ultimately do the whole big trip to Mars, and that's going to be very exciting. So,
yeah, that
Very
happened. Yeah, that happened. Welcome, everybody. Episode 120 of the Ride with Chevy and Nasty. And you know what? This one kind of excites me a little bit. I've always, like, an astronaut from the time I was a kid was always one of my, like, dream jobs. Like, it just felt like something that'd be so cool to do. Could you ever see yourself, if you had the chance, you've tried bobsled, you played NFL, CFL, you've done a bunch of different things in your life. Would you make that trip if they called you up and said, hey, Chevy, we got a mission for you. You're one of us now.
That's a tough one, man. Like, I'm a space guy. I'm definitely a space guy. Like, I love space. I love the sci-fi. I talked about how I went to watch Project Hail Mary the weekend before, which was probably the perfect segue into this real life space event. But man, Sheldon, that's a tough question. You know, if you ask me in maybe 20 years, when space travel seems a little bit more safe, maybe, like, I was tense. Like, I'm going to tell you the same reason I watched the live event. Well, no, I didn't watch it for this. Like, when I watched Skyscraper to watch Alex Hammond climb a skyscraper, part of me was like, is he going to fall off? Well, I remember as a kid, I mean, and I was probably only 5 years old, but for some reason, I do remember the space shuttle that exploded as it took off. I believe a Space Shuttle Challenger Not Columbia. I think it was Challenger.
Well, Challenger was the first one. Yeah.
No, but I think Columbia was the first one. Challenger was the one that exploded.
Yeah. Challenger exploded after liftoff.
Yeah.
Columbia also blew up, ending like the space shuttle missions or whatever, I believe. Because I think
I don't know which one killed all the astronauts, but I think it was Challenger.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. But I tell you what, like remembering that and how prominent that was, and then watching, movies like I love Star Wars and Star Trek, and I love the more reality-based science fiction stuff. I love the idea of space travel, but it seems so damn unsafe. Like I watched that, and everything has to go perfectly for those 4 astronauts to be in space. And then everything has to go perfectly for them to not get lost on the dark side of the moon. And then now we're at the point where they're traveling 25,000 miles per hour towards Earth, and they're going to splash down in the Pacific Ocean in a couple of days. Like, that's ridiculous. And it's, I know it's not gambling, but I believe the Canadian astronaut, I don't know his name off the top of my head, maybe Hansen. He said, he's like, going to space, you don't go there because it's safe. You don't do what they're doing because it's safe. So to answer your question, I don't know, man. I'm kind of comfortable here. I'd go to war if I had to go to war, because if my freedom was threatened and challenged and my home was under attack, but I'm pretty comfortable right now. Like I'm okay, like with someone else doing the space travel and me just watching it on Netflix. What about you? Would you go?
In my prime, like, coming out of college and whatnot, yeah, I would have absolutely done it. The only thing about this that would frighten me would be being a little bit claustrophobic. So as long as like these new capsules are so big, you got lots of room, I'd be fine with that. But you mentioned things like climbing a skyscraper. Like I would take the space mission, but you won't catch me looking over the top of a skyscraper.
Yeah, fair
you won't
enough.
catch me going across a walking bridge connecting 2 valleys. Like there's certain things, and you won't catch me in a claustrophobic spot because I cannot handle an MRI machine for any longer than is absolutely necessary.
Yeah,
something like this. So I think this would be cool. You know exactly what you're doing. You've been training for it for months, years. And all the people that you talk, like the dangers you're talking about, yeah, it would be dangerous, right? And that's what would give me second thought.
Because death would be quick and cold. That's why you would take it.
It would be quick. Hopefully it would be quick and cold. But you've got like literally the best of the best of the best everywhere. My son and I were talking about this the other night. Just to be selected for this program, every one of these guys were either amazing pilots, amazing scientists. They were very good at what they did, but they had other attributes too. They had to be just perfect under stress. Anything goes wrong, the toilet goes down. The air filtration systems goes down. You're smelling each other's feet. You're smelling each other's farts. You need a very stable guy or girl in that rocket next to you, because you're going to be like up close and personal for 10 days.
This is not Katy Perry going up into just was it suborbital space.
Yeah, it was that was basically like a glorified getting shot out of the cannon, like Gonzo and Muppets, right? Like you're shot up to 80,000 feet or 100,000 feet, so you're technically in space. But that doesn't make you an astronaut. Yeah,
this is the furthest human beings. I like how Donald Trump says, humans haven't been there in a long time. You know what? They haven't been there at all. Not where these guys went. And I don't know if you caught any of it. I definitely tuned in for the launch last week. I thought that was fantastic. I believe they launched when we went on the show last week. Or was it Wednesday?
The next morning.
The next morning. Whatever, yeah. Because I'm losing all my time frame here. But yeah, I caught that with my son and his buddy. And we thought that was fantastic. I mean, just seeing that, I've seen some of the images online of some of the airplanes that were flying in close, not necessarily close enough to
within 100 miles or 600 miles or whatever.
And people taking pictures, and I thought that was
cool.
That would be so amazing. But I've been following it on and off, and I do think that it is a fantastic achievement for humankind. It's something to celebrate. There's been so much going on these days, like just negative to pull people down. Very few things that are bringing us together. I love that this was an international crew. I happen to love, and I'm sure many of us here love that there's a Canadian on board. And yeah, just listening in onto them, they're obviously people with very special attributes, as you mentioned, but they're also normal human beings. Like they named the crater after the wife of one of the pilots, whose wife had passed away. Yeah, Carol. They're quoting movies like again to reference the Project Hail Mary. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a fantastic movie. And if you're into the space stuff, it's a really great segue either from this or into this. But there's a quote in the line, amaze, amaze, amaze. And I believe the mission specialists mentioned that. And normal things happen. Like in the middle of the live feed, Sheldon, a bottle of Nutella, my favorite snack from my countrymen, the Italians, Nutella floats by in the live stream just as the people are talking and NASA's describing the mission. I don't know if Trey has the video of that or a picture of that. I sent them some stuff today. But so Nutella gets the ultimate product placement. And not only did 4 human beings go to the dark side of the moon for the first time in human history, but snack food went. Here it is. So they're just doing their mission.
Let me ask you this. So I'm a little bit more on this.
Just watch this. They're doing their mission. They're talking, doing their stuff. And then right there, whoop, grab a little Nutella.
Okay. So Chevy, put me down as one of the more skeptical guys out there. I think that was totally product placement. And I want, because these missions are expensive. For Nutella to get that right there and that perfect shot, it just freezes on the brand, right? It could have gone at any angle, but there you get broadside right there to see the brand. Dude, they paid something for that.
Well, maybe, but look at that. I mean, and that's a great snack to bring into space. If they didn't pay for it, it's probably the greatest product placement and marketing genius you could ever have. I thought the Kit Kat kids 2 weeks ago did the greatest thing. Like they got caught, the 17-year-old boys. Remember?
Did they catch the kids at
Rob the
so, okay, I didn't know that.
So 4 tons of Kit Kats had been turned in by their mother. So a couple of 17-year-old kids, their mom turned them in. They're just going to have a party with it. But again, for a couple of weeks, that was the hottest product on the planet. People were like, talking about Kit Kats. No press is bad press. And now you're talking about a can of Nutella in space. Can you imagine the next mission that goes up, Sheldon? It's going to be funded before they even like that can of Nutella going into space, whether planned or not, is already going to set the standard for product placement, exclusivity on the next mission, so that when everyone in the world is tuned in, they're going to, whether it's McDonald's or whatever product it is going to, who knows what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be Bet360. Will they make it back? What's the over under? Trey, I don't know what you're highlighting there, but Sheldon,
this is the Kit Kat.
Trey, get off the Kit Kat. We're talking about space here. That was just a little segue. That was just a little segue to set up the Nutella stuff. Come on, man. But Sheldon, if you're up in space, you already said that you would have done it. You're going up. What's the snack you're bringing with you to the dark side of the moon? Like it could be your last snack. So someone in there brought a can of Nutella thinking, if I'm going to die in this thing, I'm dying with my favorite snack. Because Nutella is pretty damn good. I don't know if you've had it, but it's a pretty damn good snack. It's like, if peanut butter is a 7 on 10, Nutella is probably a 15.
Yeah, I'd be bringing hot dogs, and that's for scientific reasons. I just want to see how you get the ketchup out of the bottle onto the hot dog. In your case, the relish, right? Because you're a big relish lover. I would like to be sitting there in a rocket ship, looking out the window at the dark side of the moon, eating a hot dog. That would be, for me, that's the ultimate comfort food up there.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going with whoever's there. They've been there before. They've done it. I'm going to go with the Nutella too. I like that bottle floating by. Like I love Nutella. I haven't bought it in a long time because I know what it does to me. It makes me fat. But every time I walk by the 2-pack at Costco, I'm thinking about, just this time, maybe if I hide it in the back of the pantry, I can have it once in a while. But if I'm going to space, I'm buying the 2-pack at Costco. We're up there, for 10 days, I think that the ride is around the moon. I'm just crushing that thing, and I might share it. There's only 4 people in there, but yeah, what would you guys bring? And speaking of guys, Sheldon, let's welcome some of the guys.
He's taking a dig at me right now. A camping box of wine, because every time we go to our trailer, we bring boxes of wine but
those are the best. But boxes of wine don't go bad as fast as a bottle. They last way.
My wife complains. So you notice, like in France, apparently you can get a box of wine that has a straw attached to it, like a little personal. My wife always complains that she can't get a straw for that box of red wine, but
just chug it from underneath the table. Guys, let's welcome some guys here. First of all, I saw Rubio was here, Jamin, Todd Cozy, Dine and Dash Dad came in early with a comment. I believe Daryl's here. Want to welcome Rob Evans. Rob Evans, out of the hospital, out of his, I believe was back from his hospital stay, and he was very public to share that he had, I believe, the colon cancer scare and treatment, but I believe he's out. Rob, we're happy to have you back. We know we missed you at the live event, but happy that you're out here and you went through everything. And again, for those of you that know Rob, you can follow him on Facebook. He kind of gives the full breakdown of what he went through to make sure that he got checked and made sure he's back on the ride. Trey pulls a good one. Mini eggs. You know what, Sheldon? A Costco-sized bag of mini eggs would be pretty cool to down as you're going into space. And they don't. And the thing about the mini eggs is cool because you could like just throw them in the air and just like float in space and just eat them one at a time and play the age of da 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 hum. Well, welcome to the ride, guys. Listen, it's Tuesday night. We got a great show for you tonight. In fact, we got a special guest tonight, Chad Owens. Yeah. CFL. Is this our first Hall of Famer that we welcome to the show? Is our first?
Garcia? Is Garcia Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Garcia's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, no, hey, we're not just a B-list show. We got
but Chad Owens is the first guy that came after
Bret Hart.
I didn't even get to be on the field. Yeah, Bret Hart. Yeah, clearly Hall of Famer. Yeah. Chad Owens excites me though. I was such a fan of his. Yeah, he came on originally as a punt returner and kick returner, but he absolutely took that kind of scat position. Use him. You could hand him the ball. You could throw it to him. You could use him on special teams. Dude, that guy had an amazing career. Can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, we'll talk to him soon. But listen, we've got to get the 300-pound poetry. Trey's got the masters. He wants to show us his egg salad sandwich that he made again this year. We'll do that quickly after the poem so we can get to Chad. But Trey, let's play the poem splitter.
And now, 300-pound poetry with Chevy and Nasty.
If we were a rocket ship headed to the deepest of space, we'd still host the show, beamed right to your face.
Was sure to be one of the greatest achievements for man, exploring the dark side of the moon, where you'd surely lose your tan.
And the Masters returns, I think, at the same venue, but so does Trey's Mighty Egg Salad Sandwich. What else is on the menu?
We've got special guest Chad Owens, known as the Flying Hawaiian. Whether they're on an offensive play or a kick return, he had many defenders a-crying.
Aren't you supposed to love all your teammates, despite all their flaws? Well, that's not the case in the KHL with Maxime Comtoise.
We've got action-packed show right here on the ride. We're not as big as the moon, but you know what, Chef? We do affect the tide.
Yeah, we affect the tide.
Chef, good line. I like that one.
Yeah, thanks,
affect
man.
The tide.
Thanks. My son is
my doctor. It's a little bit personal. My doctor a couple of weeks ago just telling me I was obese. Obese, not a beast.
You can't let that one go. I think this is the third show in a row that you brought it up,
dude.
It's okay. I went for my colonoscopy consult today. So I I'm turning 50 this year, and as part of our annual screening for the fire department, when you turn 50, they automatically throw you in for a colonoscopy. So I went for a consult today, and I spoke to two guys, and one guy's like, yeah, they sedate you, but you feel everything. It's terrible. And then I happened to bump into former Calgary Stampeder great, or CFL great, University of Calgary Dino Hall of Famer John Kalin, who's a firefighter in Calgary, and he's like, oh no, man, it's so easy. So I don't know who to believe. I really want to be put under, but they don't do that. They don't do that at the Forzani McPhail Colon Cancer Center. So that's another Stampeder connection. It's the Forzani McPhail Colon Cancer section. But I am going to get my test done May 21st, and as we get close to that date, I will report my findings both before and after. Rob Evans, who just got out of the hospital after going through the screening and then making sure the follow-up was done, he said it wasn't too bad. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe everybody's butt is a little different sensitivity. Speaking of sensitivity, we got sensitive Trey coming on the show. Trey, it's the Masters this weekend. First of all, in the poem, I said, is it the same venue? I believe it is, right? It's in Augusta, Georgia. Always Augusta, Georgia. Green jacket time. Trey, what would you give to get the green jacket? I mean, Sheldon and I are talking about going to space. I think for you, going to space would be getting a green jacket. What would you do for that?
Bad things for a green jacket. I'd like to just go. The tickets are, you have to put your name in like a lottery, and it's like a 1 in 200 chance.
Well, I'm going to circle back to the Super Bowl, because you're willing to do some pretty extreme things for the Seahawks to get that Super Bowl.
I was.
Including, I can't remember exactly what it was. Did you say something about chopping off the end of your dick?
Yeah.
For a chance to
ask me if I would chop off my dick. And I said I would. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I have the same emotional connection, like wanting to win it, because I know it's not feasible, but I like to watch it. It's very enjoyable. And it just brings me like good vibes. It's springtime, even though it's not really spring here. But yeah. So
Rory McIlroy won. Why do you have to call your kid Rory McIlroy? Why don't you call him Craig McIlroy? Craig McIlroy won last year. Who's the favorite this year? Tiger Woods?
Unfortunately not. I don't think so. No. Probably, yeah, like Scotty Scheffler's won it a few times, Rory McIlroy, Bryson. Yeah, I don't think any Canadians are really going to be in the hunt this year, so hopefully we just sit back and watch.
Has a Canadian ever won it?
Yeah, Mike Weir did.
He did win. Okay, there you go.
What about the other Canadian guy? What was his name? Not Mike Weir. He was kind of around. Yeah, Stephen Ames. Didn't he win it or no?
No, he won the Players, I believe. He's from Calgary. I think he still lives here in Calgary. He's good.
Well, listen, Trey, we know we got a very special guest coming on. We don't want to make the Hall of Famer wait. So you did make another egg. No, we're not killing time. He's coming on soon. We got an egg salad sandwich taste test this week. What do we got? Like, what's on the menu?
Yes.
Tell us what's on Trey's menu.
Okay, I'll flip you guys around, and I'll play the video for you guys to refresh everybody's memory of last year.
Okay.
It actually kind of cut deep. Okay, it hurt. Okay. And I thought about it for a whole year, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna run this back again. So I'll go get set up, and I'll play the video for you guys.
Do it.
All right, let's take a look.
Back up. How did you cook your eggs? Are those actually scrambled eggs, or did you
put it back to the camera? Put it back to the camera. I
did hard boil them.
Okay, you did hard boil them. Okay, I was worried that you scrambled some eggs and then you mixed some mayo in them. That would have been great.
I like that.
I'm a little bit better of a cook than that.
Okay. He just left them. He didn't get them all ground up. He didn't mince them, so you got big chunks of egg in there, which is actually good. As long as the season's spot on.
One bite. Everybody knows the rules.
Yeah, one bite. I think these guys just wanted an excuse to eat on live camera. That's fine. Hey, last week I brought the dog on the air. That's what we do. We do.
So,
your pop says it looks dry.
I was going to ask, did you mix onions in?
No, there's no onions in the egg salad at the Masters. So
there's not, eh?
Nope. It's just plain egg salad. So if you had to give it a rating out of 10, what are we giving it? I'm giving it like a 7 out of 10. It's okay.
I like 7.
It's like it's a $1.50 sandwich. So
it's very
it is what it is.
Hey, you know what?
Is that just white Wonder Bread or is that Texas toast?
Oh, I just got white bread from the grocery store.
Yeah,
so
there you go. Let's see this.
It's called the pimento cheese sandwich.
Oh yeah.
So it's got
so what is that? What's in there? Is that just pimento cheese? I see some colors and flakes.
So it's shredded cheddar cheese. It's cream cheese, mayo. These little red chilies. I can't actually get pimentos in Canada.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So we got spicy red chilies. It's the same thing.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Trey. I've witnessed 2 of your sandwiches now. When you make a peanut butter sandwich, do you spread the peanut butter like cover the whole bread? Because it looks like you just slop the food on. You don't even worry about covering all the bread.
Like, stop drinking the drink. I don't know. Did I not get it in every corner there? I'm not sure.
No, Sheldon, what do you think? Is that a proper spread? Or
here's the thing. I've made a lot of sandwiches, and what Trey's technique is here, he's got larger chunks. And larger chunks on the outside of the bread do tend to fall off, Chev. It's a little harder to keep them on there.
I don't think there are any.
Maybe a little bit more mayonnaise as a binder would have kept it on there a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll give presentation 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
If you serve that to me in a restaurant, though, I want to see it. If it's going to fall off, I want to see it lapped up, like falling onto the plate.
Well, they also wrap this in like the nice Masters wrap, so it wouldn't fall out. We'll give this a whirl, okay?
Yeah, hit it.
Cheers.
Let's see it. I'm getting hungry though.
Well, Jamie just said mayo.
Yeah. Okay, what do you guys give that one? Is your mouth burning? You okay?
It's okay. Oh. It's got some big. Baby.
Did you sample the peppers before you loaded them in there by chance, or
what's that?
Did you happen to sample the peppers before you just liberally applied them to your?
I told you this was time.
We might not even have a producer to take us to commercial. He's about to pass out.
Dying. So we're gonna.
Reagan.
Oh my God! So this is what they call the azalea. Their signature cocktail.
Compose yourself, son.
So we got it's vodka.
Okay.
Back to the first 10 seconds. Phenomenal.
We're
Good times. Good times.
You know what, Trey? I'll tell you what. I was way too easy on you.
You were way too easy on me.
That was.
It did look like scrambled eggs. Looking back,
it looked terrible. We were giving you a hard time because you were a younger kid then. You know, we were just happy that you were launching. You know, we're Dine and Dash Dad was proud of you for making your first sandwich in your life and scrambling your first egg on a toast. And now look at you. You're standing up in the kitchen. You look like a regular Guy Fieri right there. What do you what do you got for us, Guy?
Okay, so we're running it back from last year. It'll go a little bit better this time.
Oh, that looks good.
Show me.
That looks better. That looks better. That looks like egg salad sandwich.
There you go. We're
there
getting
you
closer.
go. We're getting there. Are there any chives in there?
No, there's no extras. There's no extras. We discussed this last year, so I'm doing this.
I'm old. I'm turning 50.
I got the regular white bread. I'm putting it in all the corners this time, just for you.
You know, Trey, listen up. You know when Sheldon asked you if you got any Texas toast? Like if you worked in the fire hall and the captain says, "Oh, it would be nice if we had Texas toast." He's not saying would be nice if you had Texas toast. He's saying next time you make it, put it on Texas toast.
Texas toast, Texas schmoes. This is how it's made.
Dude.
Sheldon, I tried.
Okay, there you go. That's a better.
Spread. Yes, that's a better spread. Last year, I wish you had a side by side. Last year was pathetic. Last year was like you were rationing it off for the war, like you were in Iran waiting for Trump to bomb your civilization into non-existence, and you just needed to put a little piece of egg on it to save for the next day. Tell us what you got.
I don't think you buttered the bread.
Are you gonna shut up over here? Let me eat.
Well, we gotta talk while you. Okay, let's just everybody stare at Trey. Let's listen to his chewing sounds. We'll all shut up now. There you go. Lick your fingers.
Okay. So it's a lot better. Okay. There's no butter. There's no extras. There's
okay.
I took a picture. I even separated the.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. You know what, Trey? That's looking good. Looking at this is better than last year.
I separated the eggs from the yolks from the whites.
Yep.
So it was a little more creamier, a little more yellow, and it tastes way better. Like last year, we gave it a 7 out of 10. I would feed this at a funeral.
Okay, feed it at a funeral.
Okay.
So speaking of egg salad, what do you have something else for us, or can we talk about egg salad sandwiches?
I want to see a redo of the pepper sandwich.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got the pimento cheese. This is the hit. So you guys saw last year we were choking and dying.
Yeah.
So we got the pimento cheese with actual pimentos this year.
Okay.
So last year we had the red hot chili peppers, and all I had to do was go to a different grocery store, and we'd actually.
Well, he's growing up, Sheldon.
Look at that.
So the one on the left is how it looked before I put it together.
Nice.
Actually, Gabby put it together.
Look at this.
Well done.
One on the right is how it looks now. So I'll give it I haven't taste tested this yet.
I kind of like our logo colors in the background too. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel this green and yellow thing.
That's how you do it. Look at that. Just take a big old scoop and just smash it in there, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like you want the person looking. If you're serving me that sandwich, I'm like, oh, can you get a little bit more? No, I don't think you can. That's perfect.
Yeah, you don't.
It's not buttered either.
But perfect. Look at that. Look at that Texas toast. How's that doing?
Wait, give him a sec.
It's way better. It's not as spicy.
It's not killing you.
It's not going to kill me. It's got all the corners. I think I redeemed myself from last year, and that's all I
you absolutely have. And everyone online seems to be very hungry now. I got to tell you this, just so everyone's here, because this is usually when we have the most people tuned in. Next week, guys, I don't know if Sheldon remembers this, but we discussed we're going to start going to Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. for the next little while. And the reason being is I'm a dad first before I'm a podcast host, unless you guys start paying me $1 million to do this, where it becomes my job. But it's a high level hobby, I would like to say. And my son's lacrosse games for the next couple of months are actually in conflict with the show. Most of them are, most of the weekday ones are falling on a Tuesday. So everyone here, and Trey will put it in the notes throughout the night to remember. He'll put it on the band at the bottom. Next week, we're going to be on at Wednesday, 10 p.m. We're all in on that, and hopefully you guys can join us. We'll make sure we'll put it on social media to remind you, but you're here, you're hearing it. And if you're not hearing it here, you're hearing it on all our social media outlets, from Facebook.
You'll have reminders. There'll be reminders.
Yeah. So that's next week. And I think, and what I wanted to say, why I wanted to bring that up is, guys, speaking of egg salad sandwiches, I know Trey and I discussed this. I don't know if Sheldon heard about this, but 7-Eleven, they have this, I guess this Japanese, it's a hit in Japan. It's their egg salad sandwich from Japan. And the CEO of 7-Eleven, I believe North America or Canada, decided that, you know what, we're selling those here in Canada. And they brought them over, and I believe it's been a couple of months now, maybe 3 months, maybe 2 months. I went into a 7-Eleven the other day, and I just happened to ask the guy. I said, so, because I saw the signs for the Japanese egg salad sandwich, and I said, how is it? And he said, this is the best seller in our store. He said, more than the alcohol, or more than the tobacco, more than the lotto tickets, it's like hotcakes. So I think, as a segue from Trey's fantastic egg salad sandwich, next week we each buy one of these 7-Eleven ones. We unwrap it on the show, we taste it, and we give it our own ranking. What do you guys say?
Yeah, you can pick that thing up tomorrow, and it'll still be good next Wednesday.
And you know what? We'll actually invite everyone. So all you guys listening tonight, Dine and Dash Dad, Cozy, you guys all buy one of those egg salad. Yeah, sandwich party next Wednesday night. We'll celebrate the new time. We're going to have a 7-Eleven egg salad sandwich party, and we're all going to, so none of you guys cheat. If you haven't had one, don't have one ahead of time and be the wise guy. We're all doing this for the first time on Wednesday night, 10 p.m. on the ride at some point in the first segment, either before or after, depending what happens. I mean, if Trump bombs Iran into outer civilization, we might have to talk about that first. But at some point, we're all going to get up. We're going to go to the fridge. We're going to pull out our egg salad sandwich. We're going to eat it, and we're all just going to give it a ranking on 10. And then Trey's going to tally all the results, and we'll send it to 7-Eleven Canada and maybe get the CEO of 7-Eleven. You know what? I'm going to try reaching out to the CEO of 7-Eleven Canada for a second segment guest after we do the egg salad sandwich. So, Trey, we got to pump this up on social media this week.
Okay.
The new time and the egg salad sandwich party.
Not a new time, new day.
New date.
Well, new day, same time, but egg salad sandwich, 7-Eleven party. I think I think we're the only podcast ranking egg salad sandwiches. Started with Trey. Trey, great job.
This is what we do, or this is not what we do. This is what they do at the Masters. They combine the two.
Wow.
There you go.
I mean,
mind blown. You know what, Trey?
Does it work?
Trey, you throw a little bit of Trey. This is what they call a callback in the business. You grab a little bit of Nutella, you throw it in there, and Bob's your uncle. You got the best sandwich in the world, eh, Sheldon?
Yep. There you go, Trey. You have officially redeemed yourself, guys. We're gonna take a quick break here, so feel free, grab a quick snack, go drink, go grab a pee. When we come back, very excited. Chad Owens. I've never met the guy before. Big fan watching him. Never played with him. So have some questions ready. He's going to be up with us right here coming up on the ride.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the Ride with Chevy and Nasty. There's something about talking about food, Chev, that I can't get enough of. I think that idea is so good that almost weekly we should be trying a different thing. Like for me, I'm going to tell you my guilty pleasure right now. Not even a guilty pleasure, almost a morbid curiosity. McDonald's. I was advertising that it's the return of the McChicken Big Mac. I've never had that before, and I'm not
scary.
It does sound scary, but
do you wonder what it tastes like?
I wonder what it tastes like. And you know what? So I was sitting there. I was driving back from a shoot. We had leftover turkey from the weekend, so I didn't go grab a sandwich anywhere. But it crossed my mind that we should have you, me, and Trey in a car every week, and just like try new sandwiches, new Firehouse sub. There's these two guys out of Newfoundland, Cozy. If you're still here. What were their names? He makes me watch them review all these different like bites in their car, and it's like the funniest thing ever, but it's like inspiring. It's like, oh my God, we don't have that here. I want to try that.
Sheldon, you know what I wonder? Like, I know you wonder what that, you know what I wonder? This is what I wonder. I wonder what a Hall of Famer eats as a sandwich. Now, I'm not a Hall of Famer. You're not a Hall of Famer. Trey's definitely not a Hall of Famer yet, but he did redeem himself today. But we do have a Hall of Famer coming on the show. And I think the first question to ask our resident Hall of Famer is what type of, if he had one sandwich to take to space with him for a trip around, what sandwich is he packing? Well, let's welcome our Hall of Famer, Chad Owens, the Flying Hawaiian. Chad, welcome to the show, brother.
Aloha. How we doing, man? How's my audio? We okay?
Yeah, you sound great, Chad. But stop skipping the hard pressed question that Chevy asked. You're on your way to space. What sandwich are you eating? Because I'm hearing good things about Hawaiian sandwiches.
Bro, it's straight up. I'm peanut butter and jelly, bro. Like I'm not even messing around. Like I'm going PB&J.
PB&J. I was expecting something exotic. Okay, where does Nutella fall onto the spectrum between peanut butter? Because I mean, they brought Nutella to space with them. There was a can that flew by on the live stream. Are you a Nutella guy at all?
No, but peanut butter's got more protein. I think I got to at least have some protein in there. So I'm keeping it simple. Maybe packing some. We'll go with the Uncrustables. Frozen, ready to go.
Okay. Okay. Simple. He's a simple man.
Simple,
you know what?
Man, simple.
We might have to have a peanut butter sandwich taste test next week. Well, guys, to our listeners, and for those of you that may not know him, which if you're in a hole the last 20 years, you wouldn't know him, but otherwise, we got Chad Owens here. Now, Chad Owens, walk on at the University of Hawaii. star athlete in high school, walked on in Hawaii, and I guess we're gonna have to ask you about that. What was it that didn't get you offers? Was it a size thing? Was it a politics thing? But it goes from a walk on in Hawaii to one of the most electrifying players in college football, and then after a brief drought in the NFL, turns it into a Hall of Fame career that we all know him as. Up here with the Alouettes, the Toronto Argonauts, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Saskatchewan, and 2 Grey Cups along the way. Chad, take us a little bit through your career. This is a career, obviously, resilience. You went on teams. People peg you as a return guy. I know that every return guy I know is trying to show that he can do more than just return a punt or a kick, and I'm sure that was the case. And you've proved it. You proved it everywhere you went. So take us through your journey.
Yeah, man. Well, you talked about the beginning about like the walk on, right? I went to a public school that didn't get much notoriety. Although I had a pretty decent high school career, nothing flashy. Obviously measurables, right? Undersized. And thank God my quarterback was a 3-sport all-stater. So, June Jones, who was the head coach at the University of Hawaii at the time, who ended up coming to Hamilton and coaching in CFL, and I played from there, which was crazy. Full circle moment. But they came to watch him throw at Roosevelt. Him and Ron Lee, who was a receivers coach, and who was out there catching for him, me. And so that performance there, and mind you, man, like our field was the home field of like 3 other schools. So it would get trashed. So we were already in the off season and the field was getting renovated. So we had to go run routes like by the scoreboard next to the swimming pool. And bro, there was no grass there. It was like dirt. Like, when it rains and it gets mud and then it dries, it's like concrete. Right.
You're better off running in skate shoes.
Hey, so I was out there, man. I said, this is my shot. So I went out there. I was diving. I caught everything, and I showed off my quickness, and it sparked the interest of, Ron Lee. And it's like, okay, who's this? Who is this guy? We can't watch the quarterback.
Yeah, they weren't even there to watch.
Who's this guy? Yeah. So I ended up like figuring out what I could walk on. I didn't even know what a walk on was, bro. Like that's how like unprepared my high school was. I was on my way to like I think Linfield College or something. I was on my way to go do something like that. But thank God, man, I had an opportunity to go and walk on, stay home, and work hard, and eventually get an opportunity. And the rest is history, right? You get drafted into the NFL. That didn't work out the way I'd envisioned, but that's another story in itself. But you learn, right? Every step along the way, you learn if you allow yourself to learn, right? People can kind of take failures and go the other way, but I kept persevering, man. I kept pushing, and I learned from that situation and went to the Arena League and was tearing that up, and I was on my way back to the NFL. And then I tore my ACL, and that just sort of put a real big sort of like damper on my career. I thought I was done. I actually contemplated, man, this is it. It's over with, but then I again was rehabbing from that, and I found out about the Canadian Football League. And no disrespect, but I had no idea it even existed. And I'm being 100% honest. Right. And when I found out there's a league in Canada, oh, they pay? Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. So, the Alouettes, I found out, Montreal, they had my rights, whatever that meant. I said, I don't care. I just want to go play.
Well, we had Keon Raymond on a couple of weeks ago, and Keon Raymond forged a great career up in the CFL as well. I'm sure he's bound for the Hall of Fame as well at some point. His path was very similar too, right? He had a trial in the NFL, didn't work out the way he would have hoped. Does the Arena League thing, and he jumps up into Canada. What was that like? The first call you get from your agent? I mean, I read a book called Playing for Pizza. I don't know if you ever read this. It was a fictional tale about an NFL quarterback that gets called to go to Saskatchewan, and John Grisham does a good way of articulating just how, like, for Sheldon and I, we grew up in Canada. Like, we knew about the CFL. He grew up, dreaming to be a Rough Rider. I grew up dreaming to play in the CFL. But for someone to get, like, is this like traveling to the dark side of the moon? Like we talked about in the first segment, like you're going to somewhere no human being has ever been. Like, as far as you're concerned, no American has ever been to this place called Canada. What was like that moment where you had to say, honey, and I know you've been with your wife since you were like 12 years old. Well, you weren't married at 12, but you guys were together since 12. Be like, hey, honey, I got to go to this place that's even further than the mainland. What was that like? What was that like?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. My first taste of Canada was Montreal, and I hated it. I was like, damn, like
everything's French.
They're not speaking English over here. I got to catch these trains and these subways to practice, and I'm coming from 3 years in the NFL, like, and then I'm going to the Big O, and I'm going to stay living at a hotel, and I'm just like, man, is this really what I want to do? Like. And I just was like, you know what, man, like this, you at that point, I just wanted to play ball, right? I just wanted an opportunity to prove myself that, man, I belong at a professional level. Like I know I'm good enough. Like, so I just kept pushing, man. And frick, bro, in 2010, I mean, that year at Montreal was a blessing because I got to watch what championship ball looks like, what practice, the way champions practice looks like. So I learned a lot.
Well, you played with AC. You played with AC. Cavill was out there.
Cahoon was still there.
Cahoon, like
Stephen Core.
Bro, it was legends, on that team. And I was just like, okay. So I got a taste of it. And but being there every day, I was like, man, I can play at this level. Like I can play here. Not knocking the talent.
So let me ask you this then, Chad, because I can tell you're a competitive guy. And so, like, be honest, like, I think you're active for one game that year. You went on and the team won a Grey Cup. How hard was that to be sitting there, taking the subways, getting paid your $750 a week practice roster or whatever it was? Like how hard was that?
Bro, it wasn't hard at all because I was coming off of an ACL. You know what I mean? So like just to be back in a locker room, I was thankful. It was hard because you want to play, but like I wasn't ready. My knee wasn't ready. But they gave me an opportunity to rehab, strengthen, get better, learn the game, practice. And once I was able to start practicing, bro, our practice roster, do I have to name the practice roster to you guys?
Name them.
Do it.
Okay. Me, Brandon Whitaker, SJ Green.
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Andrew Hawkins. Do I need to say more?
Yeah, all guys that went on to amazing careers.
Bro, I'm probably missing a few more guys, but I was surrounded by guys that were just chopping at the bit, like myself, waiting for an opportunity, knowing that they can play. But you don't understand what it means to be a veteran until you're a veteran. You know what I'm saying? When you've paid your dues, you've had success, and you've played for a while, and you're still going, and out of respect, hey, them guys play. Because that they build trust, right? With coaches and quarterbacks and all that stuff. So I only learned that when I was in that position, but I was hungry, man. But I was grateful for that opportunity. And after that 2009 season where we did win the Grey Cup against Saskatchewan, the field goal, the penalty, all that. I know it's
13th
wild thing.
13th man.
But that off season was probably one of my best off seasons going into 2010 that I've ever had because I was healthy. I knew where I was going to be. I was confident and everything aligned. And when I got to Montreal for training camp 2010, bro, I was in the best shape of my life. I was smoking everybody in the 300-yard shuttle conditioning test. I was lights out, man. Like I'm not boasting. That's what it was.
You know what you did.
And then at the end of preseason, where I was dominated on specials, like I'm doing this. Pop pulls me into the Jim Pop pulls me into the office. Oh, Chad, we can't. And I was like, what? I said, so it was at that moment, bro. I had a conversation with my agent. He was like, man, I said, bro, get me out of here. Like I need to be playing. I'm ready to play. and I'm not going to be playing this year. Like it's not going to happen here. Yeah. So I had that conversation with Pop, and I ended up getting traded. And when he told me, no one's going to pick you up on a trade because you're of what at that time, I think my contract value was like $75K. So it's too high. No one's going to pick you up. Toronto picks me up on a trade, and the rest is history. Right. So,
hey, look, we got a comment from Keon Raymond's watching on IG.
Hey,
he loved matching up against you, man. Like there's good times back at the CFL. I'm sure that brotherhood you form not just with your teammates, but the guys you play against, right?
And bro, that's what I fell in love with about the CFL. It was a small league, tight league, but you got to really know your opponents. Get to know them off the field. Yeah, we competed, we did that, but it gave me a feeling. Once I got to Toronto now, like Montreal is different, like I explained, right? But when I got to Toronto, I was like, oh, okay, this just feels like the mainland. Like,
yeah,
I can do this.
Yeah.
And everything just sort of fell into place. And bro, it just really gave me a sense of home, because I love my Canadian brothers. I mean, so much aloha, such good-hearted people. And like, I embraced that and I fell in love with that. And playing well helps, what I'm saying? Yeah. Like sort of doing that, like, and really seeing what you always envisioned and believed could happen. It was beautiful, man.
And who was your first quarterback there? Was that Ricky Ray when you got there, or
No, it was Cleo Lemon in
Cleo Lemon, yeah, okay.
And then it was Steven Giles.
He got traded for my boy Ricky Ray. I was going to talk about that.
And because, then when we got Ricky, bro. So this is where the story
2012. That's bittersweet for me, Chad. First of all, I got to bring this up. The disclaimer is 2012 is a very bittersweet year for me. First of all, my boy's Ricky Ray. Like we played together in Edmonton in 2002 and 3. Like we still chat lots. 2012 when he goes to they traded Ricky Ray for. We always joke that he got traded for a bag of pucks. No offense, but Steven Giles was not Ricky Ray. He turned that franchise around, and I remember walking into Toronto. You guys had Chris Jones, Chad Cackert. You pulled Mario Belli off the boat in the harbor, and you destroyed us in that Grey Cup. And in that process of that year, you put together a year where you put together 3,863 all-purpose yards. Is that still a professional football record, like in all leagues in North America?
Yeah. But I think the record that's like the crazy one was 3 years in a row of over 3,000, right? Like I had over 10,000 yards in 3 years.
That's unbelievable.
And I think like that's pretty ridiculous, bro. I look back at that like, man, that's a lot of running. Holy shit. Yeah. But I prepared for it. You know what I mean? But getting back to the story, sorry to interrupt you, but like
no,
this
go
is
ahead.
where it comes full circle, man. 2012, Scott Milanovic comes in from Montreal.
Yep.
I was with Scott, right? He was the quarterback's coach. So I already knew what culture he was bringing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where Scott kind of leaned on me to sort of like, hey, you've experienced this in Montreal, what we had, you know what it is. This is what we're bringing. And bro, let me tell you, when we got Ricky Ray and we had all the pieces were coming in and we had our first few practices at training camp, and I was like, we're going to have a shot. Like, because I finally got to play the W position in the position which I always knew, man, that's the position for me. Like, that's me. Like, give me a chance to do that. Yes, I'm a returner, but I'm a slot and I'm a route runner. You know what I'm saying? I'm tough. I got hands. Like, let me prove that I can do it. And, I'm thankful for that they finally were able to do that. When Scott came over, we got Ricky, and man, you're bringing back so many amazing memories, bro. To think it was already, that's 14 years ago, bro. 2012.
Isn't that's the crazy thing? Like even you came in 2010, 2011. I was out by 2007. So by the time you came into the league, I was just starting to be able to turn on and watch again, because there's nothing harder than watching when you're not playing, right?
Yes.
But I remember you broke the heart of, like, I was a Riders guy because I'm from Saskatchewan. I retired as Stampeder, so I like that organization. You're a heartbreaker though, because there's something about the CFL where you find, no disrespect, you're not an undersized guy. You're a fucking phenomenal athlete, but by NFL standards, right? It's an undersized thing. when the CFL teams figure out how to use a guy like you that can change directions, that can catch anything in his vicinity, that you haven't even mentioned your vision of the field or your knack of just kind of getting open, right? Before you put on the jets of speed. So you broke the hearts of many of my favorite teams there for the length of your career. It's just, but what I kind of want to talk a little bit about that chemistry that you had with Ricky, because we've all played on teams from high school to college and the pros. You have those teams that were great. It was fun. I had success, but sometimes it was just that magic, right? Like, when did you and Ricky know that you guys had that thing?
Man, honestly, probably from day one. Like, we all knew Ricky Ray, his corner ball, right? I mean, he was just known for that
corner ball to Jason Tucker in Edmonton.
Jason Tucker. And then eventually Fred Stamps, right? So they were doing their thing. So I think it was the first practice. You just feel when you have a quarterback that just understands things. And man, I never got to play with AC, but man, the way, the timing, the anticipation, and AC had zip. Like, even at his older age, bro, AC would rip it. Ricky was never a ripper. No. Ricky was timing and a soft ball. Like, it was just, but from the very first practice, man, when the ball came out on time and I could accelerate through catches and like run and like not like wait, or I was like, oh boy, like this.
And the calmest dude you ever met, right? Like, people that didn't ever play with him don't know what type of an athlete. Like, he looks like nothing, man. He looked worse than Tom Brady running the 40. And like, if you know Ricky, like, he's got a little double chin now, a little receding hairline. I mean, he looked a little bit worse than Tom Brady coming out of college. Yet, I mean, this dude is like, if you saw him, you wouldn't think that that's a Hall of Famer with multiple Grey Cups, and you'd just be like, who is this guy?
Yeah, and just bro, he had the I don't know, man. He just had that it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he had a quiet leadership about him. When he spoke, you listened. He wasn't a rah-rah guy, but he commanded, the room because of his what he's accomplished in his career. So you give him that respect. But shit, he backed it up, man. He played. He did his thing, and he was so calm. He never showed much frustration. You know what I mean? And I think and that's what made him awesome. And he'd crack his little corny jokes here and there. You know what I mean? Just okay, he's good, he's cool. It
made him tough to play against too, because
you can't read a guy like
you can't get under his skin. Like, defensive linemen, we're like thumping our feet as we get. We want to have an impression on the guy, and he just wouldn't acknowledge you. No, right?
No, Ricky was just too cool, man. And so, man, day one of practice, I just already knew. I said, man, I'm gonna have a good year. I'm gonna have a good couple of years. I think I'm gonna be, bro. This is it, And sure enough, man, we just, it was a beautiful. So
listen, let me.
It's not just me, man. Every team he was on, like, receivers benefited. You know what I'm saying? Like, even after me, when he stayed in Toronto, like, all those guys, SJ came in. Like, it didn't matter. Like, Ricky was just Ricky. You know what I mean? Ricky Ray, you could put anybody, because he didn't really care about who was lined up. He did his job. Yeah. He threw the ball where he was supposed to, when it was supposed to come out, and that's it.
Well, but you did your job too. You did your job too, because you caught the ball for over 10,000 yards in 3 years.
And I actually forgot that you were most outstanding player in 2012.
Yep. Yeah, man. That was my year. Like that was my most memorable football season of my life.
So let me ask you this. Because there's a why, right? Like, we're here, we're talking football. We love talking football. We could talk all day long. All of us former football players, Sheldon, myself, we do the show. We love to mess around. We love to mess around with Trey, but there's a why to why we're here. We talk to men, we talk about stuff. And the reason you're here is because I just kind of come across an Instagram post. I'm going to read this here. This is something I came across, and I reached out to you immediately after this, and I want to get into this. It says, nobody warns you about this. The most dangerous moment in a successful man's life is not failure. It is achieving everything and feeling nothing. Failure is loud, it demands attention, it forces a response, but achieving everything and feeling nothing, that is silent. It looks like success from the outside, and it feels like a slow leak from the inside. And most men spend years pretending the leak is not there. That hit me, man.
Yeah.
That hit me. We've talked about it on the show where I tell guys, I said, the difference between winning at the end of a season and losing at the end of the season when you win, it feels the same. The black garbage bag day is the same whether you win or lose. You just get the party a couple weeks longer when you win, but it goes quite quick. So tell me about that, because all the success, everything you've experienced, Hall of Fame career, I don't know what it's like to be a Hall of Famer. I had a pretty good career, but I'm not a Hall of Famer. But even you sitting there at the top saying, man, like the hardest thing to do is achieve success, and then everything goes quiet. And other posts you talked about, like no one knows what you feel like. Success is a lonely journey. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, man. It's number one. Thanks for bringing it up, man. That's kind of really what I'm pressing into now. As you see my post, man, I created what's called the Men of Mana, and it stemmed from me, going back to when my career ended, and there was nothing, right? There was no job, there was no handout like, hey man, you've done such a great job, here, come work for me, you ain't got to do nothing. Like there was nothing, right? And so there was this instant emptiness. And as a high level competitor, right, something you've been doing your entire life, as a man, we live for the big moments. You know what I'm saying? We live for the opportunity to perform. And when that's gone, it feels like you shut off. It's like you just go into like a different mode. Like when you power off or you go into sleep mode, your computer, you sleep it.
Standby.
It's like you're on standby, waiting for the next bright light to come up. So, all right, let's go. And bro, gone. So that's why I started what I did. And like the whole mental health with men, and like a lot of, suicides and athletes killing themselves, depression, like it's real, man. Cause I felt it. Right. And it's not, and we talk about, even while you're playing, you have those moments of those same things. And you talked about the biggest game. Yeah. You lose a Grey Cup. It sucks. But even when you win, bro, the season's over. Like, you got to go back to work. Damn, you go home. You don't have that same locker room every day. It's not the same. Like you lose that. And so it doesn't matter, man, how much you achieve. There's lonely moments, man, more than you think. There's probably more lonely moments and emptiness than there is the highs. And
pro football and sport in general, but I think pro football, because of the film work that you do in football, that every play can be distilled down to a start and an end. It's not like basketball. They watch film, but football, you dissect every play. And no matter how well you think you did, the next day is always about how poorly you did. So that next week you can be better.
I spent my entire career, 7 of 8 years as a starter, thinking I was the worst player on the field. I sucked. I should have stepped here. Why did I make this read? You're continually
and that's yourself. What I'm saying, fellas. Like the mentality of a high level of achiever. Number one, you care about the details.
Yeah.
So when you're wired that way, it's almost like it's a blessing and a curse, because it's like you're never satisfied. Mm-hmm. And even when you get satisfied, even when you get the thing that you've always wanted, you worked for, you either find a way to beat yourself up, because you're looking for something to improve on regardless. Yeah. And so it's like this cycle of
you can't even accept a compliment. You can't even accept a compliment.
You can't. Yeah. Even I did countless interviews. Chad, what a game. Da 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 da. Yeah, but I fumbled. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, but it didn't. Yeah, but I can do this better. Like we're negative thinkers.
Yeah.
Right. That's just by nature. That's what we are as men. We're weak-minded, negative, because we're so competitive. So we're always trying to find flaws or find ways to get better. And that can really, fucking screw you up, and that emptiness though, bro, when it's gone, that's the worst feeling.
And so many of our colleagues, friends of ours, Sheldon's, yours, mine, spend years and years in that emptiness, kind of looking for the door or the window or the light. So let me ask you this before we get to Menamana. How does Chad Owens deal with that? How does Chad Owens get out of that emptiness? How did you get out of that emptiness?
Yeah, man. It starts with your anchor. You're anchoring, right? And everyone can anchor differently. My anchor, my support system, my family. That's everything. You talk about the why. I was a young father, right? I had my first, my son went in college and, got married young and, so it's, I had a why at a very young age that went on to my why that I already had, right? Undersized, proving myself. I can do this too. I can play with the Giants. So it's important to have your support system, your family, but every athlete, right? That locker room, your brothers, you spend more time with them realistically throughout a 10, 12, if you're fortunate to play 10 years, 10 plus, like you're spending a lot of time with those brothers.
Yep.
And that's what's missed. So you need to make sure you got men in your life that you can go talk to. Number one, you got to be able to talk. Men don't talk, right? It's an ego thing, right? It's a pride thing. That's just what it comes down to.
Where did you find that, Chad? Because that's the hardest thing for guys to find afterwards. Either step into a mentorship position where somebody's like, escorting you, holding your hand to your next stage of your life. You go back to the islands, I imagine, when you're finished, right? Where
did you find that? We moved to Toronto full time in 14. So I was there from 14 to 2020. COVID brought me home. Like if it wasn't for COVID, I'd still be in Toronto. So anyway, where I found it, you know what? I just think it's I kind of, as my career evolved, so did my leadership. And I worked so hard because I had to. So my work ethic was there. So leading by example was already there. And then leading by example plus verbally, so it just became like a natural thing for me to kind of coach and lead. And I was a young father. So it's almost like I'm fathering people, young men. And so kind of getting that experience and having mentors of myself to gain perspective, you know what I mean? In business, in life, in parenting, in all sorts of ways, So I think the biggest thing is again, going back to being a player, wanting to be better, right? As a player, you were all about self-growth. You were all about getting better for the next week so you can go and perform better, right? So as a man outside of sport, as a businessman, as a father, are you adapting? Are you having that same mindset with everything in your life? I'd say probably most aren't. You know what I'm saying? So I think it comes to being able to be a well-rounded man and understand what you really need and how you should be operating. What's your standards? So anchoring down
and that's
having
big
standards,
jump,
bro. Yeah, having standards, having boundaries. Like it's big, man. It's big. It's an area that not a lot of men can perform in.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where Sheldon and I mean, we talk about this all the time. We had a silly little radio show when we played with the Stamps. We just talked about the game. We had a teammate on. We'd have fun. But now this since COVID, I mean, COVID kind of triggered it for us. It was like you sit at home, you're alone. I'm a single dad. There's a week I have my kids, a week I don't have my kids. I'm sitting here. You can't see your friends, and I was like, man, I got to do something for me because my kids are teenagers. When they're at their mom's house, I called them during COVID. They didn't answer the phone. They're kids. I was like, I need to do something for me that brings me joy, that I enjoy doing. I enjoy getting up for, not for someone else. And that's where the show came back. And Sheldon and I got together and said, we got to do the show, but not just talking about sports and stuff, because we don't watch enough sports to be stats guys. We want to tell stories and then really lean into the men's health, because we've both had stuff happen, not just the loss of the game. That was the first chapter where you're like, oh, I'm not invincible anymore. We talk about health issues, relationship issues, financial issues, all those types of issues. Are like, man, if we're dealing with it, other dudes are. And that's kind of what this community is. I mean, I've already got guys on here. I see the comments and they're like, they want you to come to Calgary for the next speaker at our live event. Because we did one just last week. We did a father-son night last week. It was we had 200 people there. Keon spoke. We had Brett Gardner, who's a very famous rodeo announcer and mental health coach. He came in and spoke, and we've done three years in a row now, and we're building this community. Just like you're building that, and we're talking about these things, and we love having guests like you to come and talk about these things. So tell us about the Menomana, because I'm assuming this is based in Hawaii. And in your local communities, is that where you're kind of trying to attack this and really shed some light?
No, brother, it's global. Like this is men everywhere. You know, this is online, so it's an online. It's a masterclass. So I created a masterclass, a master course. It's a 12-month membership. You know, it's literally reigniting your prime. Men over 30, reigniting their prime, reinventing themselves. Man, leadership, reaching peak performance, fatherhood, marriage, relationships, fitness, health. It's like a one-stop shop for a man to just become who he really wanted to be, wants to be, you know, a rebirth. It's heavy, bro. Like, it is unbelievable. And so, you know, but you talked about one thing though, like, man, I gotta do something for myself, bro. That's why I bodybuild now. You know, I'm a pro bodybuilder because I love working out. I always did. That became my thing, right? And so
there you are. Hey, look at this guy.
Sir.
Hey,
let's go. You know, as an athlete, as a football player, there was always purpose behind the work, right?
Yeah.
Off-season training, like there was purpose. So I've had that for so long. I didn't want to lose that. So bodybuilding gives me purpose in the gym. There's a reason I'm there. Every rep, every contraction, every meal, everything I do, water, like everything is detailed. Guys, this is harder than football. I'm telling you, right?
Yeah,
like, this is
a little more
like,
discipline required, I imagine.
Oh my God.
Next Chad, level, bro. I still lift a lot, and the guys know why I'm lifting. I'm still lifting I literally sent the text in today. I told the Stampeders, you need a long snapper. I'm ready in October and November. I literally sent them to text.
Chad, he's not lying. He shared it. He said it to Dickinson.
Yeah, I said,
let's go. Well, I think I can still go come out and catch a few punts and run a couple routes. Aaron
Crawford, my good buddy Aaron Crawford, they released him yesterday. He signed with the Riders today. I'm sure they didn't expect him to sign. They figured, well, we'll release him, and then if we need him, we can call him back. He's off the table. I sent my text to Craig. I said, Craig, listen, I know I'm not your next guy up. I know I'm not the backup to your starter, but you don't have a backup to the backup, and that's where I come in. And so that's my purpose, but I don't have to be as disciplined with I would like to be as disciplined with the diet as you are, but I can't get there. I could not be a bodybuilder is what I'm saying. I could train for football.
I used to give Chevy a hard time after he retired. He was doing, he's a firefighter and the fireman's calendar. So every year he would come out in his Speedo and the jacket thrown over the shoulder.
Yeah,
but he was honest. He said, you know what, Sheldon, if I don't have something to focus on, I'm going to go the other way, man. I'm so scared that I'm going to go the other way.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually eat those donuts that the kids didn't eat. I'm going to actually eat that sugary cereal. I'm going to go that way. So,
well, most athletes do, man. I mean, you sacrifice so much while you're in it. Most athletes, man, shut it down because they don't have another purpose. They don't have another reason to do it anymore. It's like, man, my body's beat up, you know? And that becomes here, but
and we find as men, we find negative coping mechanisms with those negative emotions that we talked about when you're in the emptiness. It's drinking, it's drugs, it's women, it's food, and it's not, hey man, I'm going to go become a bodybuilder because I feel terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a mental fortitude to say, okay, I got to refocus this energy into something that gives me purpose when you feel like you have no purpose.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You don't have to go and become a pro bodybuilder, but man, like if you understand what building muscle does, it's a longevity
Yep.
It's a longevity thing, right?
Yep.
Healthy muscle is for longevity.
Yeah.
And so, I'm an online coach as well for fitness and lifestyle clients that, if you're looking to just stay in shape, maintain structure, have someone that's, accountability, that's what I do as well. So, but Men of Mana. So the why, you heard what I talked about, right? Really big mental health. And yeah, I like that one. Man, my kids, that's a huge why, man.
Yeah.
But I've lost family members to suicide. You hear about it all the time. Like it's like it's happening more often.
Oh yeah.
And it's like men are thinking that quitting, it's the easy route, right? And they're done fighting, right? They're done, like whatever the case may be. But I want to play a part in combating that.
Well, I tell you what, I was going to just say, we put up all your information here. We got guys that are super interested in what you're doing. So hopefully you pick up a few followers up here. Hopefully you pick up a couple of guys that might want to engage you in what you're doing, because maybe the podcast is good enough for some guys once a week, but maybe some guys want a little bit more. Sheldon doesn't offer a master class in this. I don't. We just want to provide that platform.
Hell, I'll tell you what, though, I could have used one when I was 33 years old, retired from the CFL, trying to figure out what's next, right? I'm on your Instagram right now. That's amazing stuff, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. So, hey, anyone who's interested, man, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. That'll probably be the easiest to start a conversation. But yeah, it's exciting, man. I just launched this year. I spent the better part of the last year and a half building it. And it's literally not my blueprint, but it's what I took my entire career, my life experience as an athlete, as a father, as a husband, as an entrepreneur, everything. And I've built this thing, and hence why I've called it, it's called the Aloha. Well, it's Men of Mana, but the system is called the Aloha Apex Legacy System. And it's Aloha. That's my culture. That's the foundation. And it's important to have that anchoring. That's what I'm talking about, right? You got to have that anchor. You got to have a foundation. And Mana is strength, power. It's what you sort of believe inside, right? And that's where the Men of Mana come from. And so, and it's about Apex, Aloha Apex system, reaching peak performance, reaching your best, and understanding that, hey, that competitive mindset, our best is always ahead of us. It's never too late. Let's go after that Apex, but also Apex predators. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that arrow sort of like mindset. Focused. You know what I mean? Focused. I'm locked in. And it's about your legacy, right? Own your legacy is the tagline. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell, man. I'm excited for it. It's going to be exploding. It's growing. I've got a team that's helping me on the back end. My job is to be the guide, be the face, push content, relate to people, get men messages, and like just kind of keep pushing that. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that right now, man. But it's, bodybuilding is like, it's not my main thing. Yeah. It was kind of became my main thing for a couple of years, pushing to get the pro card, which I did in 2024. And the next thing was, okay, I want to make it to the Olympia. But I realized, man, I'm 44. I just turned 44 on Friday.
Nice.
So I'm trying to compete and qualify for the Masters Olympia, which is, it's like the older guys, right? And I'm fine with that. I'm completely okay with being a Masters
your professional
Olympian.
athlete showing here. You're fine with that. The seniors, Mr. Olympia, dude.
I'll be the uncles. I'll do the uncles.
Yeah, that's still the top 1% of the 1% of the 1%, brother.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate it. But yeah, so I mean, guys, like that's mental health for men. I mean, everyone in general, right? But I mean, for this target market, man, we're talking about men, and a good part of that market, man, is a lot of athletes.
Yeah,
there's a lot of athletes who just lose their identity.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyone that's been in an institution, whether it's and by institution I don't mean negative, but have been kind of programmed for, like you're talking about, athletes, military, first responders.
Yes.
When that last day comes, it always feels like the last day. It doesn't matter if you're 60, doesn't matter if you're 55, doesn't matter if it's an injury, doesn't matter if it's a tap on the back. That last day always feels like the last day. And men, especially, we don't have as many supports out there as are available to kids, to women, to different groups. We need these types of things. We need, because again, you mentioned it, the second highest killer of men, middle-aged men, you're 44, talking about 40s up, the second highest killer is mental health, is suicide. We talk about it all the time. And the reason is we don't have enough of this. So, man, I do want to tip my hat to you for what you're doing. I'm so glad we got you on. One, for us to support what you're doing, but also for you to support us. I mean, our paths align, and that's why I knew it was right to reach out with you when I did, and I think they're going to align even further in the future. I know that we have a lot of guys that are interested to hear more from you just based on this conversation. If that means maybe somehow we can get you in Calgary sometime, do one of our live events, that'd be awesome. But we are going to
Rob Evans said it better, Chev. Chad,
Yeah.
you got to invite Chevy and Nasty down to the island, and we'll bring our crew with us and have our next mental health week down there
we
with
can
you.
do that too. When we can get out here and I'll show you guys a great time, man. Yeah, there we go. And he'd much rather probably come to Hawaii than me going to Calgary.
I never been, so I'd be interested.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
Well, listen, brother, we won't keep you any long. Mind you, we know it's early in Hawaii. We couldn't even figure out the time zone, so I'm glad we got you when we did.
7:20, man. You guys are a beast going late like that. So I appreciate it.
Hey, this is when everyone gets to bed. We want to be there. We want to tuck them in before they go to sleep. But listen, man, we really appreciate you coming on. We're gonna follow you. I know everyone here is gonna be following you. You're gonna pick up a lot of followers, and hopefully, you pick up a lot of men of mana to kind of engage you in what you're doing, because I think what you're doing is fantastic, and we wholeheartedly support you, and we're really grateful you came on today. The Hall of Famer Chad Owens joining us on the ride tonight. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you guys, man. Appreciate it. And aloha.
Well, guys, we're going to take a little break here. Again, that was Chad Owens, CFL Hall of Famer. What a set. I mean, geez, he's ready.
Do you see those bodybuilding pics? That's in his 40s.
Yeah,
I'm just going to pick this up. Like, dude, the guy looks amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he's so dialed in. I love it.
10,000 yards in 3 years. Like, that's ridiculous. Like Trey said it best. He said there's guys in the NFL Hall of Fame that don't have that many yards. This guy is a true dude, and to have him on, I love that interview. I love what he's doing. It just felt right to reach out to him. I didn't know Chad before that, but I follow as many guys as I can on Instagram and social medias, and I said, you know what, we got to get this guy, and I'm so glad it lined up. It doesn't always line up when we try guests on the live show, but it did. But let's take a break, Sheldon. We'll take a break. We'll give everyone a chance to reset, get some water, get a pee. You know where to follow us, guys, each week. We're on all social media. So at Chevy and Nasty, Facebook, Instagram, X, all that, Amazon, Apple, Spotify. We're also part of the Sideline Sports Network. So, Chad Owens getting his message out to us. It's not just our community, it's everyone on the network. So that's great. And we're brought to you each week, as always, by Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. Quick break, and we'll come back to wrap this thing up in 2.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Sheldon, that was amazing.
Yeah, guys, and make sure you check him out, Chad Owens, on Instagram. He'll direct you to all of everything that he's doing. I'm checking out his page right now, dude. Like, I like where he's coming from because he's sort of a straight shooter and says the way it is. Like, he's not the flowery kind of motivator.
No, it's raw. It's raw. And it's stuff that we've talked about, articulated in a different way, from a different perspective, right? Like, we've talked about the emptiness. We've talked about the lack of identity. The
last day, man. The last day is the loneliest day ever.
Yeah, we've talked about all those things in the way we articulate it. But again, to have another perspective and then kind of it awakens things in you and kind of exchange ideas.
Well, you know what's crazy to me about that? I won't take long on this one, Chev, but Chad Owens did in a short time what very few players have ever done in the Canadian Football League.
Oh, yeah.
He came on, made a splash, 10,000 yards in 3 seasons, MOP, won Grey Cups, Hall of Famer. But even he at the end of it is like, dude, I need a bro check.
Yeah.
I need to step into something with meaning. This is not good. I am not in a good place. And he found, it sounds like he reached out and started using his experience and mentoring people in the city that he kept playing in. But dude, that's the end of that career, the end of the locker room, the end of the fire hall, the last day on the force.
Yep.
It changes things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what, even obviously this is what he wants to do. This is his business. This is where he wants to lean into, as he said. This is what he wants to do. And even in terms of this as a business, man, what a concept. What a man of mana. Like,
he's tying in with his Hawaiian roots.
You
can tell it's heartfelt, right?
Yeah, no, it was really good. So yeah, I'm glad that we got Chad, and hopefully more guests in the future. I think, guys, just to remind you guys, next Wednesday, that's when the next ride is going to be on. So we're switching to Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. We'll give you plenty of notice if we're switching back, but we're going to Wednesday. Bruno's joining us finally. Bruno, I don't know if you missed that last interview, but you got to go back and watch the Chad Owens interview. But we're going to be going Wednesdays for the foreseeable future at 10 p.m. And guys, every one of you, and tell a friend who's listening to the show who's not here, we are all buying a 7-Eleven egg salad sandwich. And in the first segment, we are doing the taste test. We're all going to taste at the same time.
The Japanese egg salad
sandwich. Yeah, the Japanese egg salad sandwich. The actual 7-Eleven one that they imported in. They just started selling this year. It's the number one seller at 7-Eleven right now currently. It's their best retail item. We're gonna sample. We're all gonna taste test it on the air, and we're all gonna give our rating out of 10. We're gonna talk about this egg salad sandwich. And you know what, Sheldon? Just as it seemed like it was impossible to get Chad Owens, I'm gonna spend the next week trying to reach out to the CEO of 7-Eleven Canada to see if we can get him on to talk about this and talk about
just remind him that he doesn't have to give his interview in both English and French, the two national.
No, this is English show. But Sheldon, one thing about Chad, and we didn't get to talk about, we talked about Ricky Ray, what kind of a teammate he was. I'm sure Chad Owens was not only a great player on the field, you don't get that way without being a great teammate most of the time. And from everything I heard about Chad, phenomenal guy. He wouldn't be doing what he's doing if he wasn't a great teammate. But when we talk about teammates, Sheldon, last week we saw something in the KHL that was quite the opposite of a Chad Owens. We saw Maxime Comtois, might be one of the most hated hockey players. I don't know if it's in the world, but there's video out there, and Trey's going to play it in a second. He's in the KHL. I guess he's just bad-mouthing the refs. His own coach hates him. His own players hate him. Just watch this. Watch this. This is the opposite of
I haven't seen this.
Ну, просто, знаешь, вот честно, Но это хамство. Вот я, знаете, я могу ответить, но я понимаю, это плей-офф.
You got to read the subtitles. So the coach said, the Russian coach says he's been pissing them off too.
Предупреждаю при всех, чтобы потом не быть. Я его выгоню. Все слышат? Каждый раз. Blue foot behind there. Just посмотри. Number 10. Every time. Look. Dripping, right? Like, yeah, like behind my legs. Yes, okay.
I know you don't like Comtois. Not a lot of us like him either. Just don't call the game because Comtois is yelling at you, all right? Like, the rest of our team treat us different, all right?
Okay, I will try.
Thanks, buddy.
Sportsmanlike conduct. He was screaming, then he slapped his.
The blood on his nose is from the way visor comes down.
You don't like me?
Tough shit! I don't like me either!
Yeah.
So Maxime Comtois, not liked by the refs in the KHL, not liked by his coach, not liked by his teammates, and not liked by his opponents. The most hated guy right now in sports. Sheldon, did you ever have a teammate that was not liked in the locker room? Anyone that you could think of off the top of your head that maybe
you're always going to have a teammate, a team where you've got guys that are, not everybody's favorites, right?
Yeah.
I want to look. I'd like to look at what it is about the guys that make what makes a bad teammate to you, Chev. Like for me, it's a guy that's all about themselves, like the selfish guy, the guy that takes the spotlight for every little thing, the guy that finds fault and complains every day. We talked about, it's not as hard being in a locker room as it is in the spaceship, but you still spend a lot of time in that locker room, and you want somebody that's like easy to get along with. What makes a bad teammate to you?
There's a couple of bad teammates for me. There's for me, the bad teammate, when we're talking about teammate, in the game, the heat of the game, everyone does things differently. If a guy continually takes boneheaded penalties and puts the team at risk, that's one for me. The other thing is the guy that doesn't take mentorship or coaching. You know how Chad mentioned, hey, when he got to Montreal, he understood quickly that there's a way that things go, and you got to kind of, you got to play the game a bit. There's guys that have paid their dues. There's guys that build trust. It doesn't matter how much talent you have or think you have. There's a process, and guys that don't respect that process and that actually go opposite of the process. Like when you tell a guy, hey man, maybe you should go out early in the morning and show the coaches that you want to return punts, even if that's not where you want to be. Yeah. And they look at you like, I don't need to do that, man. That's not for me.
You know what? In fairness, though, usually those guys don't end up in the locker room. You know what I mean? Those guys usually wash themselves up pretty quickly.
Yeah, some do.
I've had teammates I haven't liked, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus because I've never had anyone that I've hated that much. But it's a different thing when you're still on the roster, you're still causing drama, you're still bringing the team down, but you're there because I don't know, your agent's related to the head coach, or you're just that good to be there. Like, have you ever been in that situation?
Or your dad is the president of the owner of the team?
Sure, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't had that. You know which one I hated the most, and I've had it on a couple
Raheem
of
Abdullah.
No, I love Raheem. That's my boy. It's the toxic popular player. You know what I'm talking? The guy that a lot of people like, but he's super toxic and he presses people's buttons to get under skin just because. And some people think, oh, that's funny, but it just never ends and it's relentless and it actually makes it uncomfortable. The toxic popular player for me is the most hated teammate because he gets away with it because he's just popular enough with the right guys that no one calls him on his bullshit. And eventually it doesn't happen at the beginning, but it slowly erodes the team cohesion because now people are fighting about stupid shit and they're not focusing on football. And, they're wondering what this guy's going to say. And his teammates that do support him wonder, like, he's got to ramp it up, right? Because when you do something popular and people laugh, well, the only way to keep that.
But I'm going to jump in there, though. That's the thing, though. When you do something popular and you get the attention, you're talking about doing something popular that attracts media or fans or everybody.
I'm talking about in the locker room. I'm talking about in the locker room amongst your teammates. When you like chirp a guy just to the point where like, listen.
I never liked any of that. Like that stuff always bothered me.
The locker room bully.
Yeah, the locker room bully. That always bothered me.
And
especially when you got the guy. It's like the Donald Trump thing. Does he have some good ideas? Yeah. Is he a powerful guy that gets things done? Yeah. But when he starts talking, it's like, even if you're like trying to like the guy, he's a hard fucking guy to like.
Oh yeah.
And when you got that guy in the locker room that pushes it too far, it's like, why don't you have that gear that just backs off of this kid right now? Like,
just back off.
The locker room bully is the hardest thing. And for me, it's also the guy that keeps the attention on himself, which is fine. I don't mind a guy that keeps the attention on himself if he's performing every game.
Yeah. And then the other guy I was going to say that is a hated guy is the per diem stealer and the ticket stealer from the mailbox.
Yes. Well, there's no room for that locker. You know what's funny? Everybody keeps going to Sean Avery and Matt Kachuk. I think those guys were pretty well liked in their locker rooms. Like I brought up Raheem Abdullah, right? When we signed him, I told Casey Crean, our defensive line coach, I'm out, dude. I'm asking for a trade if he brings.
Oh, I remember guys wanted to beat me up because I'm the one who kind of.
Oh, and you were the new guy at that point.
I was like
vouching for him.
I was like, this guy's gonna be great, and you guys were like, no, and then he turned out to be amazing,
awesome.
Right? Like,
love Raheem, love the guy.
Yeah, and that's what happens with a lot of guys that you generally.
But he wasn't a locker room bully.
No,
like Raheem
was loud.
Like,
he was loud.
He was loud. Yeah. But he also mentored and lifted guys up.
Yeah,
he'd call them out when they needed it. But he knew when to stop. He'd say it once, maybe twice or three times, and bring it back 3 weeks later.
Yeah,
but he didn't overdo it. He didn't look for attention in the media. He just did his thing. He knew that his future was based on the locker room, and he took care of the guys around him. I freaking loved Raheem.
Who was the worst guy that you played against? Like we talked about a couple of guys offline. We talk about teammates, but this Maxime Comtois, as much as he's hated by his own teammates and his coaches, not liked.
Because he's slew-footing goalies and all that stuff.
He's hated in the league. Who's that guy that you played against? Because you could definitely name a guy.
I'll name you one guy right now that I want to meet him because I never knew him. I just thought he's the biggest asshole ever. Wade Miller, Winnipeg.
Oh, Wade.
Yeah, I hated the guy. He ran his mouth. He had such a chip on his shoulder. He whined and complained every freaking game.
We should get him on the show.
Was he an amazing football player? Yeah, dude, the guy was good. He's the best special teamer ever. He and obviously he has some leadership characteristics because he went on to run the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
He still is
most of their success, the most successful years they've ever had.
Yeah.
I'd love to have Wade Miller on the show. In fact,
I remember that one guy, Jimenez. I don't remember his first name. He was offensive tackle for BC. He was the guy
Jimenez and Rob Murphy, the two tackles.
But Jimenez was the one that ended. Anthony Gargiulo, our defensive end mate here in Calgary, ended his career and then did the same thing to someone else years later. And I think even Rob Murphy called him out. I think his own team got rid of. They hated him, and I think he got traded to Hamilton, if I'm not mistaken. There's a couple of guys. You remember that other guy? He played for Winnipeg. He was an old lineman, and Eric Wilson.
Dude, it was comical. It's like you were playing again. He was their center. Yeah. And it was like, I can't believe this has actually happened. He fires off the line and he grabs onto your leg with both arms and he starts rolling. Yeah. It's like, dude, this isn't even a football technique. Like, what the hell are you doing? He's clearly just trying to take you out. He's trying to see if he can get to your knees. Dude, what was his name again? Eric Wilson.
And then more recently, Saskatchewan had the defensive tackle, I believe it was Moreno, that he
Moreno,
basically cheap shotted his way out of the league. Like his own team said,
a good player.
Good player, just had a few too many dirty hits on quarterbacks, started, and the league, player safety, league safety is like, we can't have this guy here playing like that. I think Shea Emery was a guy that played on the edge. I want to get Shea on the show. He's got a great mental health journey and men's health journey. I've contacted him. We just haven't aligned, but
I didn't mind Shea Emery. Who's that other guy for Hamilton that took out John Cornerstone?
I thought it was Emery that
maybe that was Emery. Okay, then I take it back. Emery, you're on my naughty list, dude. I have nothing for you, guy, but I would love to hear your side of the story because my mind could be changed. We're all just guys at the end of the day.
Dave Stala was a great guy. I love Dave off the field, but he was a prick on the field. Dave Stala was one of those guys that just tried to get in everyone's head. I remember before a game we had a rookie kicker in Calgary, and he was a receiver that could punt the ball 70 yards, and he'd go there in warm-ups, doing his receiver routes, and then every once in a while I said, "Hey, Maver, check this out," just blasting kicks and just showing off and trying to get in guys' heads. And yeah, but I don't know if too many guys, like I said, there's a couple of characteristics of guys that I didn't like. I definitely did not appreciate the guys that had no time for sage advice, because we talk about mentorship on the show. We had Chad Owens. One of the best ways to feel part of a community, like they always say, the best way to feel good about who you are is impart your knowledge to others, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through mentorship. And when you have someone that's like doesn't even humor you, you're like, and this kid thinks he's too good for it. That I always had a hard time.
But the nice thing is, like, Darwinism just takes care of that. I'm seeing Jay Patel Golf on here right now too, like talking about teammates and that's the thing. I don't care if it's at the college. By the time you hit college or the pros, everybody's good.
Yeah.
Right. And so the guy that doesn't take sage advice usually isn't there for very long. Maybe at college you can sneak through because they keep extra bodies on the roster on scholarships or whatever, especially in the States. But by the time you get to the pros, at least the only redeeming quality that you have, if you're that guy that nobody likes, you better be good.
Yeah. And with the CFL, it's interesting because you got a lot of NFL cast-offs and they come here, thinking that they're better than the game. Those guys usually don't last, right? Like a lot of those guys, a 2-week training camp. I mean, they don't care who you are.
You learn fast, right?
Yeah, you either learn fast or you're out, because some kid from Montana State's going to take your spot if he's making all the plays. It doesn't matter if you play in the NFL, but there's still that mentality for some guys, especially when they come to Canada, that, oh yeah, I'm better than this league. Once they get through that, if a guy's still an asshole, he must be a real asshole. And you see that, but like you said, a lot of those guys wash out. There's very few guys that are in the Hall of Fame in the Canadian Football League that are jerks. There's very few guys that we bump into that are still jerks, but there's always a few. We named a couple, and I'm sure guys on different teams can name more. I'm looking at this list of different sports, some notable jerks. Sean Avery was mentioned. Evander Kane seems to be mentioned, but I mean, he fit in pretty well with the Oilers the last couple of years. Didn't seem like a problem child.
He had some wife issues that she tended to take locker room stuff public.
Yeah, it says that Mark Messier is on this list. While a legend elsewhere, Messi often cited by Canucks players and fans as a poor leader. I didn't even know he was with the Canucks.
They just didn't want to take leadership, dude. That was the Canucks from what, 19?
Yeah. Bill Romanowski, infamous for his roid rage. Romanowski once shattered a teammate's eye socket in practice, effectively ending his career. I guess that would make you a jerk. Terrell Owens, Steve Smith. I believe he had some run-ins with teammates. Ryan Leaf, they say he's one of the biggest busts in history. I'd like to get him on the show because he has a great story of redemption right now, Ryan Leaf, and I played with him in Dallas. But Tanya Harding might be the worst teammate of all time. She might be the worst teammate of all time. I don't think there may be a worse teammate than Tanya Harding. Try to take out.
Yeah, kneecap your competition. I'll tell you what, I had one guy, I won't say his name. But I had one guy when I was just like my second year in the league, where I was like my first full season, where I was just becoming good. And all of a sudden I went from the guy that was just the camp body to, oh my God, I think he's starting.
Yeah.
Right. And the existing starter, one night we hit the bar after 2 days, because we used to do that back in the day. I don't know if guys still do that now. I started to notice he started buying shots for everybody. And there was like girls there, guys. Like it was just everybody's having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But he started buying me shots, and I noticed, because I was smart enough even at that age, I watched him throwing him over his shoulder. He was trying to get me drunk. It was actually like that worst case scenario. A guy's trying to get you drunk so you can't perform the next day.
Gamesmanship.
Oh, gamesmanship. And I mean, but it's so competitive because in fairness, he probably knew when the game's up, the game's up.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran and you have maybe 3 seasons left, you want to make sure you get all 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And if you've got a young guy that's like taking you over. Now, granted, this was not a team that went on and won a Grey Cup. This was not Chad Owens there with SJ Green and Walker and all these other amazing young players learning under the Montreal West. This was a bad team with bad leadership. And quite frankly, some good players, but not a lot of direction, right?
But I will comment on this, Sheldon. I will comment on this. For as hard as it is for us to find, bad teammates. One of the things is that I realized over long careers, both of us had long careers, just how many good dudes there are. Not everyone's your best friend, but a lot of good dudes. And to really distill it down to the two dudes on this computer screen, like our first day could have gone one way or the other, right? At Tim Hortons could have gone one way. And you're like, hey man, I watched you play. You're really good, young Canadian. And I was like, wow.
And I meant it. The game you stepped in for Charbonneau.
Yeah.
You made the goal line tackle on the other. I was like, dude, Chevy's a good player.
And I just remember,
I don't know why everybody else was so hard on you. Everybody else said that you were like, you suck and you're there because of Tom Higgins. You only had one move in your belt, dude. No, I made all that stuff up. You were a good player. I was excited to have you there. I was nervous that you were coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Right? But look at the friendship we've developed over the last, I guess now it's 25 years. Think about how we nurtured Miguel Robidet when he was brought in to replace both of us, and we brought him under our wing.
Tyler Lynham.
Tyler Linham.
Love Tyler Linham.
Yeah. And that was always my philosophy is like, and I listen, the last few years of my career, Sheldon, I tell you, as much as I told you today, I wrote the stamps to go back. I mean, most of my career was spent fighting them, kicking me out the door, especially when Huff was there. And all the guys they brought in, I always told myself, I said, the best way for me to be a teammate, and I never wanted the business to change who I was as a human being. That was my approach. I said, I want to do my best to remain the same Randy that my sister loves, my friends love at home. And I want to be that guy when I played. And I think I did a pretty decent job of that because every young guy, whether it was Andrew Olbrecht from the University of Calgary that they brought him in to replace me and I taught him everything I knew, to Kyle Tayo, who they brought him in my last year with the Stampeders. He got cut. I just spoke with him recently. He's a cop in Toronto, and he's like, dude, you were still one of the best teammates I had, and I was only with you for 2 weeks, and I was supposed to take your job. He's like, I wanted to hate you. He's like, I couldn't. And that's the type of teammate I want to be my entire career, because for me, the relationships, the things you miss when you're gone is not the coaches you played for. It's not even the cups that you played for. It's having an opportunity to have a couple of really good relationships with some people that you have fun with, you respect, and you can talk about the different things that are going on in life, whether it's sports and men's health or rockets going to the moon.
Can I tell you something that was kind of cool? You know the story I told about a guy trying to feed me shots and get me drunk while he's throwing them over the shoulder? Yeah. He called me in like 2009. And after the careers were over, and he apologized and says, I always loved you. I did some things he didn't ever like fess up to it, but I did some things that I don't feel good about today, but I always loved you. And I told him the same thing. I always loved you too. He was a hell of a mentor. Yeah. But it is interesting. You do see certain things. There are certain teammates that aren't always looking out for your best interest, right?
Yeah.
It is
fair
at the
enough.
end of the day, it's your career and it's your family and it's your kids and your groceries.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So where do we go with this, Sheldon? Are we wrapping her up? Or like,
let's hit a couple of studs and duds. Okay, you got a couple minutes?
Trey said he had a couple of things for us, so let's do it. Let's go, Trey.
Studs and duds.
Hit me with something, because I got nothing today. I blew it.
Oh, not even started.
There's only a couple tonight, but the Zameth. Did anybody see this today?
No.
I can't believe this hasn't been done before. This is awesome.
This is the
coolest thing I've ever seen. They debuted it tonight against the Oilers, which we lost in overtime, by the way.
Oh, you lost because of the Zameth.
Yeah, the Zameth. So this Zamboni's from the 2002 Winter Olympics.
Stud
in Salt Lake. Yes, and they hired some group to like remake it, and I mean this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's got some legacy to it too.
That's like Mad Max if he was a rink attendant. That's all they need is the guy on top hanging from the bungees playing the guitar with the fire. That's what I want to see next. That's what the Calgary Flames need. The Calgary Flames Zamboni has to be that truck from Mad Max, the remake there with the Tom Hardy one, and they need the guy with the flaming guitar. That's the only way you win up this. Calgary Flames, you're on deck. That's it.
All right, Trey, you started with a good one. What's next?
Okay, this one we briefly talked about, Sheldon. You said you had an opinion on it. I came across this just the other day. If it will.
Which one do you got? Is this a high-speed train?
This.
Oh, this one.
What is that? I can't see. Tight on me.
So it says,
So
just
it was
so you
a
know,
$577 bill, and they gave $60 for a tip. And she left a note. I don't know if it's a he or she. The waitress or waiter or whatever left a note saying, "Just so you know, I was expecting more like $120 tip on a bill this size. Thanks."
It's a she.
What do we think?
Sutter Dud. I mean, you're spending $637. You probably should tip a little bit more than that. Like they should. Like the dud is not tipping it, but it's also calling it out. Like if you have the money to spend $637 on a meal, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm assuming it's a big group, but it probably wasn't. Therefore, when it's a big group, the restaurants do the automatic, 20% gratuity or whatever it is. But maybe this was two people just drinking their faces off. They should have probably.
Here's my thing. That's the whole thing to me, Chev. If it's a high-end restaurant and you've got 2 people, maybe 4 people, right? Like I get the big crowd where they're taking 27 orders and keeping everything straight, and it controls the whole night. But if I'm getting $90 entrees and $40 appetizers and $30 desserts and $30 drinks, it doesn't take long to get to $400, $500, $600, right?
Yeah.
In this case, if you only brought me 3 things, this is on the low end for sure. You should be at least probably 15%. But $60, if you've serviced this table for an hour and a half, it's not a terrible tip.
It's not terrible. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. The guys are calling me out. No, I think the leaving the note is terrible. Like if she left the note beforehand, it's a dud. But I'm saying the guys leaving only $60 on such a big bill. I think you could leave.
It's a bad tip. It's a bad tip.
It's a bad tip.
But if it's for 2 people, if it's for 2 people, like what if I'm going to give more than $60 for an hour of service? I want a foot rub, maybe a shoulder rub.
And you know what? The tipping culture is different now. Like, Regan, I get it. $60 is 3 hours of work. I mean, but most servers make minimum wage, which here in Alberta is $15 an hour. Understanding where the world is these days, people work in the service industry. All right, like there was a few years ago when $15 an hour plus tip was a great wage, but the inflation that kicked us in the ass over the last few years, things are different. Now, you shouldn't be asked to get a tip to leave a tip at Subway. You shouldn't be asked to leave a tip when you go order something at the counter. I don't believe in that. But if someone's serving you, if someone's cleaning up after you, if someone's taking care of you, giving you actual service, then you should tip appropriately.
It's warranted.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if one of you guys offered me $60 tip for doing the show, I would take it graciously. But Trey, what else you got for us? Anything else?
Okay, yeah, you really want to talk about this train?
No, we don't have to talk about the train. We don't. I was just throwing something extra.
Well, that's really the last thing I have outside of the Comtois thing.
All right, you can throw this in then. You guys, you probably heard now, and this is one of those things where the government's great at spending money because it sounds like they're doing great things. But you guys have heard about the high-speed train in Ontario right now, running basically from Toronto to Quebec City.
Well, they will build it, right? It's not built.
No, they will build it, but they've already spent billions, and they're spending another $6 billion this year on
parting gift to the East to try and get votes from the Liberals. What a terrible idea. There's already a train that goes from Toronto to Montreal, Sheldon. It takes 4 hours. It's such a nice
4 hours.
Yeah, it's about 4 hours to get from Toronto to Montreal on a train. I've done it before. I love that train ride. It's a via. To get to Quebec City, you add another hour and a half because it goes pretty quick. I don't know why they need, where they need a high-speed train? They need a high-speed train to reach areas where people can start to build cities that are affordable across the prairies. So you could build something where
Vancouver to Toronto.
Yep. That's where you need the high-speed train.
Yeah. So here's the thing though, for
Calgary and Edmonton. Yeah.
Here's what I don't like about a Chev. Like I honestly find like if they could find a way to build this affordably, I think it will really boost commerce and any stops. It's going to boost the real estate values in those areas that it stops at because everything's now accessible. I'm fine with that. But my issue is that for $90 billion, you said it's 4 hours, the current train. This thing would not be under 3 hours. Like it might be 2.5. But chances are, with stops and all that stuff, they'll never get it quite that quick. The pricing on this, you would have to charge $300 per one-way ticket and you would need somewhere around over the next 20 years just to pay for the cost. You would need around 70,000 riders a day. Currently, there's only 50 to 70,000 people commuting for business and for personal travel.
Listen, infrastructure projects in Quebec and Ontario is where money goes to die. Money goes to get buried, and people get buried in the concrete. Just look at Montreal. I can't speak for Ontario, Toronto, but the infrastructure projects in Montreal, they get started, they go nowhere. It takes decades and decades, and it's not like building out here in Alberta. Like, yeah, we are having our issues now with certain things, but when it comes to executing on a project, we do pretty good in Alberta. I've been here for 20 years. I've seen a ring road built around the city. I've seen 2 major hospitals built. I've seen overpasses and tunnels. And, we're stalling on this green line thing, but when that gets built, when they figure it out and they actually put a shovel in the mud, that thing will be built pretty quick and people will be moving. And that's not.
I just hope there's enough riders to justify. That's my whole thing. It better help.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a dud. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to throw out a stud here. Before we go. Luke Chevrier and his buddy Kieran and Joseph. They've joined the Giants along with our buddy Irwin, who was at the men's mental health night. They've joined the Giants late in the season. They're prepping for the summer season. They're our young guns line. In 3 games, they have over 12 goals among the 3 of them and 10 assists. They're our young guns line. We play the 3 kids together, and they sure take the pressure off the old balls on the team. And it's fun to watch. I've told my kids, and we talk about men's health. Chad talks about his kids. I told my kids, like, what I really train for and why I try and keep in shape is because it's always been my dream since I was a kid, and I used to play in tournaments with guys that had kids, to play ball hockey with my kids, to have them actually want to play with that, and that we could play competitively, because getting them to want to play was the first thing. And I realized that getting their friends on the team is how I could get them to want to play with me. And now I'm playing like competitive hockey with my boys. Like I played 2 weeks ago with Luke and his buddies, and it was like the most fun I had playing ball hockey. Yeah. And then we all went for a beer after, and it was great. And then
here's what I see. Here's not to cut you off, but here's what I'm seeing. You talked about Irwin. Irwin's actually the owner of a company called Joker Jerseys.
Yeah.
He's done in WHL. Yeah. He's done like all the Métis and First Nations specialty jerseys when they're doing their big things. You need some customized Chevy jerseys. I actually approached Irwin about doing some Chevy and Nasty hockey jerseys.
We got to do that.
Sick, right?
We got to do that.
For you guys to have the Chevrier boys jerseys, you gotta invest in that. That would be awesome.
I love it. So Luke is playing with a couple of his buddies. He's going to join our summer league. I think he's putting pressure on Brett to join, because Brett's going to be playing football in the fall for the Calgary Colts, but he needs a day where he does some conditioning. And I think ball hockey, that was my conditioning when I played. Ball hockey is a great conditioning, but as a dad, to be playing with my sons, I love it. I remember last year, my 2 boys got into a fight on the floor in the summer league. And, I thought I was going to have to step in, defend them. And the next thing you know, I see them just taking on 5 guys. I was like, I'll just walk over. But it's fun. But they won. They propelled the Giants. It was a 1-game play-in into the playoffs. I couldn't make it tonight. Obviously, I was here with you guys, hoping the boys did well. I got the texts in the first segment that the young guns kicked ass. And that's proud Papa here. So pretty excited about that. And let's remind the guys. Next week, whoever's left here listening to the ride, we are going to move to Wednesday, the big W. It's a W. And sorry that I had to do this to you guys, but, I'm a Papa first. We're going on Wednesday, 10 p.m. Everybody, Trey, we got to make a social media post with that Japanese egg salad sandwich, okay, telling everyone to buy one, put it in the fridge. In the first segment, we're going to do a taste test. That's how we're opening the show. We're going to get quotes from the CEO, people that have had it. That's going to be your opening video montage. It's egg salad sandwich Wednesday. We're going to do this taste test, and this might open up the floodgates for more taste tests in the future.
Can't wait. Sounds exciting.
Sheldon,
guys, and don't forget, make sure you guys.
I hope you work hard on getting that CEO too. By the way,
that would be awesome.
I'm going to work it. I'm going to work it right now.
Guys, so we'll see you all here live again next Wednesday night, 10 o'clock, same time, different day. Make sure you guys go check out Chad Owens' site. He's doing some amazing stuff, and he took the time to join us all the way from Honolulu tonight. So we really appreciate you, Chad, for joining us. check him out, give him a follow. And if you know anybody in your life that might want to get involved with this program, just pass it along, guys. He's an amazing dude. Anyway, on behalf of Chevy, Trey, and myself, we love you all. Thanks for joining us here on The Ride, and we'll see you guys here next Wednesday night, 10 p.m.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, Georgia, a song of you.